All right, welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to be talking about 7 key LinkedIn mistakes that are causing you to lose sales. So we're going to be talking about how to actually use LinkedIn to start making more sales and how to stop making the mistakes that are causing you to lose opportunities out on LinkedIn. So first of all, let's talk a little bit more about why LinkedIn. Why does this stuff even matter? Right now, there are over 467 million users on LinkedIn worldwide, and that number is quickly growing. There are millions of new users each and every day coming to LinkedIn, and there is going to be more and more user activity. Users are becoming more and more active across LinkedIn, spending more time on LinkedIn, and paying more attention to what's happening across LinkedIn. Here in the US, which is where I live, there are over 130 million users on LinkedIn. So you talk about the US population, most people who are professionals in the US, who are business owners or who are decision makers, they are users on LinkedIn. And that number of 130 million is growing by the tens of thousands each and every day, especially now as LinkedIn is expanding, continuing to become more and more popular. That number of 130 million continues to grow. The average household income, this is one of my favorite reasons to be on LinkedIn. The average household income of a LinkedIn user is actually over $100,000. So the people on LinkedIn are typically more affluent, they have more money, and they're earning higher income. So if you're somebody looking to do business, which most of us are, with people who are earning over $100,000 every year, that is just the average household income of a LinkedIn user. So people on LinkedIn, they're typically successful and they typically earn higher average income, much higher average income actually, than the users across Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat, Instagram. It's day and night with how much these users on LinkedIn are earning. In millennials, which is part of my demographic, millennials are the fastest growing demographic across LinkedIn. So if you're someone who's looking to do business with more and more millennials, no matter what your product or service is, they are absolutely the fastest growing demographic across LinkedIn. And a lot of millennials, and I can attest to this, are taught to be on LinkedIn, to have a LinkedIn profile. It's something that a lot of universities, a lot of colleges are now teaching. And so you see more and more millennials gravitating towards LinkedIn. And the truth is, a lot of millennials perceive LinkedIn as something that's very official, very professional, and authoritative. So if you've established yourself on LinkedIn, if you've built a presence and a brand, if you've established your expertise, they're going to see you as much more credible on LinkedIn than across any other social media, because millennials, we've been conditioned, we've been trained to see LinkedIn as something of utmost importance and to assign authority to the content that we receive on LinkedIn and to the people that we connect with on LinkedIn. So if you want to really position yourself as that expert in front of millennials, they are the fastest growing demographic on LinkedIn. And there's no place like LinkedIn to reach these millennials and get your message across. And LinkedIn, of course, is full of C-level executives, key influencers, and decision makers. So the people that you want to do business with, they're all over LinkedIn. They're actually the most active users, and they're there to talk business. They're there to connect with people they can do business with and refer business to. And you'll see that some of the most active LinkedIn users are the key influencers, the key decision makers. So if you're someone who's looking to sell to or target C-level executives or to connect with key influencers and directly reach the decision makers without having to go through a gatekeeper, without having to go through the bells and whistles, LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to do that and to do that efficiently when used the right way. And perhaps my favorite thing, if you're watching this right now, most of your competition is still probably clueless when it comes to using LinkedIn. The typical person, we think about the average realtor or loan officer or financial advisor or even insurance broker. The typical LinkedIn user has nothing more than a resume on LinkedIn. We'll talk about why that's a key LinkedIn mistake here in a few minutes. But most of your competition in the marketplace is becoming more and more competitive each and every day. Most of your competition is still using strategies to get in the door that were popular 10, 15 years ago. They're cold calling, they're knocking on doors, they're delivering donuts, they're going to these networking events, and they are completely clueless about this opportunity. It's here on LinkedIn, where there are over 467 million users, 130 million users in the US. The average household income is over $100,000, and your competition is clueless to most of this information, especially if you're someone, and most of us are as business owners and salespeople. We're trying to reach C-level executives. We're trying to reach key influencers and decision makers on LinkedIn. If you're someone trying to reach those people and actually do business with them, your competition is clueless when it comes to utilizing the strategies that we'll be going over today for building brand recognition, for establishing themselves, and for building those relationships across LinkedIn. So this is a huge opportunity where you can get a major step ahead, get a major start, and really put yourself out there, put yourself in front of your competition through using LinkedIn. And before we talk a little bit about me, one other thing, and this will date this webinar in the future, if it gets recorded, but Microsoft actually purchased LinkedIn at the end of 2016 for $26.2 billion. So LinkedIn is quickly changing, guys. The interface across LinkedIn, and as you can see here, the first bullet point is that I'm obsessed with LinkedIn, so I really know this information well, is that Microsoft purchased LinkedIn for $26.2 billion. And what does that mean? Well, as you know, Google and Facebook, they've been big players across social media. Facebook has Facebook.com. They've bought Instagram. Google has YouTube, obviously, which is a huge social media channel. And Microsoft had a realization that for them to play in the social media game, for them to be competitive, they would need a vehicle as well. And instead of building their own from scratch and trying to compete in that marketplace, they invested $26.2 billion into purchasing LinkedIn and officially acquiring it at the end of 2016, which is huge in terms of where LinkedIn is going. And LinkedIn, over the last few months, has experienced some of the biggest changes in its history as far as the design interface, as far as how to use LinkedIn, how to really utilize the platform. And the visibility and a lot of the features on LinkedIn have been evolving and changing. We'll be talking about a lot of them within this webinar, but it's just important things to know. And your competition, once again, is clueless about all these opportunities. And by the time they wake up, by the time they catch up and start to realize what an opportunity there is on LinkedIn, you, as someone taking action and taking the time to watch this and implement these strategies, you're going to put yourself way ahead, and you'll be outdoing your competition, outclassing them on LinkedIn, and getting business from LinkedIn way before your competition even wakes up and realizes the opportunity that's out there. So a little bit about me. As you can probably tell, I am obsessed with LinkedIn, absolutely obsessed. I've been on LinkedIn even since my college days. Like I mentioned, I'm a millennial, so I've been on LinkedIn for a long, long time. And I first started seeing the power of LinkedIn, actually, even before I got into sales. I first started seeing the power of LinkedIn when it came to networking. So I was moving to a new city, and I decided, and even before that, even as a college student, actually, I started networking with people who were alumni of the fraternity which I was in, and that actually led to several opportunities for me, and opportunities which actually led to money in my pocket and learning about a couple of different industries. And that was just through connecting with alumni on LinkedIn and building relationships that way. So that's really where my obsession began, and where I started to realize, you know what, this is such a powerful thing where we can network with all these people, but it really does come down to having the right strategy. So that was sort of the beginning, right? The early foundation of my obsession with LinkedIn when I first started using LinkedIn. And being a millennial, I heard that I needed to be on LinkedIn. So once I got there, I started to realize the power. But then I had another change, another big shift. I was working selling software for a software startup that nobody had ever heard of. And our strategy for prospecting was the strategy that a lot of new companies have. We were cold calling small business owners, trying to sell them our software. And I had developed into some pretty good cold calling skills, if you want to call it that. I learned how to cold call, how to script, how to pitch, and it wasn't working. We weren't having nearly any success. And I had heard a lot about LinkedIn, had tinkered with it before. I said, you know what? What if we try to use LinkedIn to reach these same kind of decision makers? Maybe we'll start becoming more successful. And that was really where I started tinkering with LinkedIn, trying to sell the software and also develop referral and distributor relationships across LinkedIn. And that's where I started developing the system that I'll be sharing with you today. And I started developing a lot of these strategies coming from the world of software sales and starting to understand marketing, networking, selling, business development, and how to translate that using this incredible platform, which is LinkedIn. And doing so, over time, I've discovered and perfected a 4-step system, which I call the linked lead system, for consistently getting new clients, finding leads, getting more referrals, and making more sales through using LinkedIn in a systematic way. And that's actually the system that I'll be sharing with you here in a second that you can use no matter if you're a business owner, a sales professional, B2C, B2B, high ticket, even low ticket. It really doesn't matter. If you have the right systems and strategies in place, you will see consistent results through LinkedIn. And as you saw a second ago, there is just so much opportunity, so much untapped potential on LinkedIn, with the average household income being over $100,000 and LinkedIn being full of C-level executives, influencers, and key decision makers. Also, as I developed this system, I started taking on more and more new clients. I started working with a variety of clients here in Vegas who were mostly small business owners, and the frustration, and they're probably a lot like you actually, so the frustration that these small business owners and eventually salespeople were feeling was that they were having challenges, they were having difficulties filling their sales pipeline. So they were going out to these networking events, or they were even cold calling or knocking on doors. And unfortunately, they just weren't able to develop relationships like they wanted to, whether it's with potential clients, their ideal clients, people they want to do business with, or even referral partners. Going out, they were wasting a tremendous amount of time, and there was very little to show in return. So I started teaching them the system that I had perfected while selling software, and the results were tremendous. We started almost instantly seeing more leads, more referral opportunities, and more sales coming through using LinkedIn and tapping into the system. And that's really where I got started, developing the system and helping small business owners implement it and use it to find more clients, get more referrals, make more sales, and grow their business, all while saving time and becoming more efficient and developing sound, solid processes. And now, this day, as we're on this webinar today, I'm expanding this company, I'm expanding this system, and I've begun training business owners and sales professionals across the world in multiple cities through live workshops, recorded programs, live programs like the one you're listening to right now, masterminds, one-on-one consulting. I've begun doing it on a global basis and really expanding and scaling, because the fact of the matter is I've seen so many business owners, so many sales professionals who are struggling to get referrals, who are struggling to consistently generate new leads, who are struggling to recruit quality talent. I've seen it all, and I've shown them through the system how they can use LinkedIn to really make those processes more efficient, and most importantly, and which really drives me, get consistent results on a regular basis. So that's really where I am today, and really expanding globally, helping more and more business owners and sales professionals find clients, get referrals, make more sales, and develop systems for utilizing LinkedIn to grow their businesses, save time, and become more efficient. And here's what a couple of clients have had to say, a couple people that I've worked with. So as you can see here, definitely some people I've worked with, they've been happy with the results. They've enjoyed learning. And I'm somebody, as you'll be able to see here in a second, I like simplicity. I like to keep things very simple, practical, and results oriented. So I'm not someone who's going to sit there and fluff and just tell a million stories. You know, I'm someone who wants to get results from my clients. I'm committed to you as someone who's watching this, who wants to improve their LinkedIn presence, who wants to start getting more business out of LinkedIn. I'm committed to helping my clients get more results and to do it in the most effective ways possible, no matter what they sell, no matter what their business is. And so here it is, the 4-step system for using LinkedIn to make more sales. Number 1, optimizing your profile, optimal profile refinement. So not only does it come down to having the perfect headline, the perfect summary, a good LinkedIn profile, but it really comes down to taking it from a resume, from the cookie cutter profile that you see across so many LinkedIn profiles, to something that's a piece that can kind of stand alone and help you generate business, something that's tailored towards your ideal clients and your ideal referral partners, and also positions you as the expert, as the premier authority doing business in your area, your field, whatever it is, whatever the product or service that you have to offer is, positioning you as that premier person. But furthermore, optimizing your profile in a way using LinkedIn SEO so that you will consistently be seen, heard, and found across LinkedIn by your ideal clients and your ideal referral partners. That's step number one. And it's such a key step, optimizing your LinkedIn profile for your audience, which we'll be talking about in more detail here in a few minutes as well. Number two, content creation and distribution. You have an opportunity on LinkedIn to put content in front of the right people and, again, position yourself as that premier expert in your space. But more importantly, using LinkedIn's tools, you can get a ton of free exposure and free distribution across your content, so you get even more eyeballs and you get even more people to see your content, engage with your content, and to start conversations organically, which will lead to new business opportunities. So the content piece of LinkedIn is huge, and LinkedIn actually didn't used to allow its users to produce content, but LinkedIn is really pushing for users like yourself, like me, to put out more content. And it's right now is really that golden era of putting content on LinkedIn and getting the most free exposure without having to boost content, without having to pay for additional advertising. Through putting the right content out there, you will establish yourself as the premier authority, and you will increase the flow of inbound leads of people who know who you are just through putting content out there and using the right strategic approach and utilizing LinkedIn's secret content algorithm. Number three, utilizing your power partners and current clients. All of us have people, and as you probably know which areas are for you, who we want to partner with, who are in front of our clients, who can probably refer us business on a consistent basis, and who we may be able to refer business to as well. So it comes down to finding those power partners, engaging with them in the right ways, and developing those referral relationships so that you can develop referral streams for you and your business on a consistent basis and consistently get referrals just from being on LinkedIn. Also, all of us, just about all of us on this webinar have been in business for a little while. We all have a current base of clientele, and it comes down to utilizing your current clients for referrals, for introductions, and being able to consistently create referral streams just off the preface that you have current clients, that they have networks that you can access on LinkedIn. So strategies for consistently accessing their networks and turning that into referrals and more sales. And the fourth thing, and this especially goes for the B2B sales professionals, for those of us who are doing business to business, is strategically prospecting and engaging. So finding your ideal prospects, figuring out who they are, finding them on LinkedIn, and engaging with them in such a way that they'll be receptive to your message, and that they'll want to have business conversations so that you'll get those appointments and so that you can consistently make more sales to your ideal prospects on LinkedIn, whether that's B2B or even in B2C, how to strategically engage with your ideal prospects. And the same goes for recruiting, how to strategically engage with your ideal recruits, the people you want to bring into your firm, and to get them to be open to having a conversation, to get them interested and excited to working with you, because they know that you are the premier authority in your space and that you are someone who has their best interest in mind and that you are the person that they need to be doing business with. So that is the four-step system for using LinkedIn to make more sales: optimal profile refinement, content creation, distribution, power partners and current clients, and strategic prospecting and engagement. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Let's get into this presentation, the 7 key LinkedIn mistakes that are causing you to lose sales. And you'll notice, again, everything is very systematic and process-oriented inside this training. So with each of these mistakes, not only am I going to showcase the mistake, I'm going to give you strategies for correcting the mistakes and for actually reversing the ramifications of the mistakes and using LinkedIn to make more sales. So without further ado, you do not want to look like this guy. You see this guy, he's the sales guy, he's the business owner who's had a long day. He's been cold calling and he's not getting any results. He's got his head on his desk. He's just a really frustrated person. You do not want this to be you. And he's making these LinkedIn mistakes because if he wasn't, he would have a full pipeline. He would have new opportunities coming across his desk on LinkedIn, and he would not be frustrated with the cold calling or feel like he's stuck. And maybe this has been you too. Maybe you felt stuck. Maybe you felt in a rut. I'm here to tell you today that you have a huge opportunity on LinkedIn. And I'm going to show you how by correcting these 7 mistakes, you're going to put yourself way ahead of your competition and have an opportunity to consistently generate new business opportunities all through using LinkedIn. So without further ado, mistake number 1. Making your profile about yourself instead of your audience. And I see this so often. I see, especially when it comes to salespeople, using LinkedIn, and this is the old way of using LinkedIn. This is probably what your competition is still doing, to make your profile about yourself instead of your audience. So it's great that you have these awards, that you have these accolades, you've made President's Club. All of that is great, but your audience doesn't care. Your profile, as your entire LinkedIn presence, should really be geared towards attracting your ideal clients and referral partners instead of making it to show how great you are. I've seen a lot of business owners, sales professionals that even paid a lot of money and hired a professional writer to write an executive biography about them and featured on their LinkedIn profile. And I'm here to tell you guys, your ideal audience really doesn't care. What they care about is how you can provide value to them and how you can solve their problems doing what you do, selling what your company sells. So that's the key thing right here, is making your profile geared towards your target audience, towards the people that you want to connect with on LinkedIn, instead of using it as a resume just to talk about you and how great you are. Because people don't do business on a resume, as you probably know. People do business on the value proposition, and they do business with people they know, like, and trust. And nothing is going to further alienate you from potentially making a solid connection with that audience than only talking about yourself and your profile. And I see a lot of salespeople, I look at their LinkedIn profiles and I don't even understand what it is that they really do. I understand that they're a good salesperson and they're with the company, but I don't see the value proposition. I don't see how they help clients. I don't see any success stories. I just see that they're a salesperson and their years of experience. And LinkedIn, you've really got to take your profile from a resume into a business, what I call a business development profile, a profile that's optimized to bring you new business opportunities versus just to sit there as a resume. Now, unless you're looking for jobs, maybe that's a little bit different. But if you're looking for new business, which you are if you're on this webinar today, then you're looking to take your profile and turn it into a business development profile that's going to help you make more sales. Some key things are just understanding that everything on your profile, every decision you make with how you optimize your profile should have your ideal audience in mind. I'll give you an example. I was doing some speaking here in Vegas once, and I had someone in the audience ask me this question. She had a graphic design business, and she was looking to get more business out of LinkedIn. And she asked me, she said, Yaakov, would it be a good idea for me to have a design as my profile picture on LinkedIn? And I looked at her and I asked her this question. It was the first thing that literally came to my mind. Who's your audience, right? What would your audience think? And she told me her audience was local small business owners. And I told her, well, is that something that would attract them and start building that like and trust and that bond? And in her case, the answer was no, not really, because these people want to see a photo. They want to see your face. They want to start developing that relationship with you. So really everything you do across LinkedIn, starting with optimizing your profile, should have your audience in mind. It has nothing to do with your accolades, your honors, your awards, how great you are, what a great job you've done. It should have everything to do with your audience, how you help them, the problems that you help solve, and what you're looking for, right? What your intention is of using LinkedIn, who you're trying to connect with, and why you're doing what you're doing, what challenges your company helps solve. So that's what a business development profile really is. And once you've done this right, it's something that's going to be on LinkedIn each and every day, and it's something that's going to consistently help you attract new business opportunities. And also, simplicity is a key thing too. A lot of sales professionals, especially in the tech industry or the mortgage industry, they have very complex things that they do, very specialized things that they help clients with. And so they'll talk about some specialized terms or industry jargon. And the fact of the matter is, unless your client is an insider in your industry, you should not be using industry jargon. You should be using the simplest terms possible to paint the clearest picture that you can of the value that you provide and how you help clients and what the next step is for them to reach out to you, right? Having that call to action is important as well within your profile. I've seen so many sales professionals who have profiles on LinkedIn and there's really no call to action, or there's really no insights into how they serve clients and what their process is. And it comes down to, I cannot stress this enough, going from that resume, which all of your competition has. Most of your competitors, let's be honest, when they're on LinkedIn, you just see a resume for them, right? You'll be lucky if you see a phone number to reach them by. But with you have an opportunity to get ahead and state your intent on LinkedIn and to be able to transform it into a business development profile that really gives you business opportunities. So from now on, everything you do on LinkedIn, I want you to think about your audience first and attracting them with your LinkedIn presence. And that starts with making your profile about your audience instead of yourself. So that's mistake number one. And the number one key, biggest mistake that I see time and time again from sales professionals and business owners on LinkedIn. Number two, starting cold. So you see this guy right here in the picture, this sales guy, right? And it's not the best vibe, right? He's got his hand out. It's that overeager salesperson we run into in networking events, the person that no one really wants to talk to, but just has that overeagerness, that uneasiness that makes people start feeling, real uncomfortable or just not wanting to connect with him. And that's a mistake that a lot of people will make on LinkedIn, especially a lot of sales professionals and business owners. When you're looking to make sales on LinkedIn, you shouldn't be starting cold. Everyone listening to this has a network of people, even if it's your local network, who already know you, like you, and trust you. And unless you've been living under a rock and you have that one friend, I can almost guarantee you have at least 20, 30 people who know you on a first name basis, who are at least acquaintances in your local community who you can connect with on LinkedIn. So the mistake that I see so many sales professionals and business owners making is starting their LinkedIn efforts cold. The very first thing you should do on LinkedIn as you're optimizing your profile is to make sure that you're connecting with the people who actually know you, who you actually have a connection with and have familiarity with. Once you've done that, you can actually tap into their networks. You can tap into what they're putting out on LinkedIn and to who they know, like, and trust. And you can get introduced. You can get introductions. So all of us, and I'm no exception, love doing business through referrals. And being on LinkedIn, you have an opportunity to start your LinkedIn presence by tapping into that referral base and looking and seeing everyone who people in your real life network know across LinkedIn and requesting introductions. You have an opportunity to tap into their networks instead of just starting cold and doing all this cold prospecting and making things hard on yourself. Start with the low-hanging fruit. Start with the network that you already have and start with the people that they know. That's the cornerstone of your LinkedIn presence, and that's really where you should be beginning instead of starting cold. So if you're somebody who's been in business for 20 years and you have a huge book of business, make sure to take that book of business and translate it onto LinkedIn. Make sure that you're connected with all of these people. And a couple ways to do that, if you've been using email, is you can, with one click of a button, import all of your email contacts into LinkedIn and have LinkedIn automatically send a connection request to all of your email contacts. Also, if you have a spreadsheet or a CRM that has all your clients' information, or you have a box of business cards, if you're still old school, just translate those email addresses, search for their names, start out with getting connected with your real life network onto LinkedIn, because that'll open the doors for you into entire networks that you may not have had access to. And you go to someone's LinkedIn profile, you can see using the search key everyone who that person knows on LinkedIn, and you can start your connections and your relationships that way. There's no reason to start cold when you already have a closer degree of separation. Now, LinkedIn has three different types of contacts. Number one are your first connections. So people who it's like being a Facebook friend who you're connected with on LinkedIn. Then there is the second degree connections. And once you start with your initial network, you're going to have tens of thousands of second degree connections. And these are simply people who you share at least one connection with. So the more you can start with your warm network, then you can start tapping into your second degree connections and building relationships through them. And then there are your third connections who you, at the moment, don't have a single connection in common with. So you really have an opportunity with LinkedIn to start with utilizing your warm network, make things easier for yourself, and start those business relationships that way. Similarly to if you were, and I keep making the analogy of being at a trade show or a networking event, if you saw someone at that event and you could see everyone that your friend knew at the event, and you could ask for an introduction, you can do the exact same thing on LinkedIn without having to go through the cold aspect. And there's certainly, I teach a lot of ways to strategically prospect and engage, but start with the low-hanging fruit, especially as you're building your LinkedIn presence. I always recommend to clients is to start the connection and the relationship building process with your initial network first and with the people who they know and who already know, like, and trust them. Number three, not having a distinguished headline. You can see here, got a little headline here, out an attorney accidentally sues himself. So a lot of people on LinkedIn are missing a huge opportunity by not distinguishing their LinkedIn headlines. And pretty much everywhere you go on LinkedIn, people will see three things. They will see your first and last name, they will see your profile picture, and they will see your LinkedIn headline. And your headline is really your opportunity to distinguish yourself and get people's attention and have them come and visit your profile. It's also your opportunity to distinguish yourself through your intention that you have on LinkedIn and why you are on LinkedIn. Really separate yourself by distinguishing your headlines. So it's a great place to show your value proposition. It's a great place to stand out from your competition. You know, I see a lot of realtors, and just about every realtor I see, their headline says realtor at whatever company, right? And by doing that, you're missing a huge opportunity, because whenever you engage on LinkedIn, people are just going to see realtor at whatever company, and they're not going to be as engaged with what you have to say, with your content, or with having a further conversation. But if you can optimize your LinkedIn headline to reflect your value proposition and to make yourself stand out, not to mention use keywords to help you get found in the LinkedIn SEO, if you can do all of those different things, then you have an opportunity to really draw more profile views through your headline and have people, inbound leads, actually start reaching out to you with referrals and with inquiries to have a further conversation. It's such a powerful thing on LinkedIn. And right now, my LinkedIn headline, if you notice, if you connect with me on LinkedIn, you'll see that it says #1 LinkedIn expert. And that's there for a reason, because that's there when someone sees #1 LinkedIn expert, even if they have no idea what else I do, they're going to at least go to my profile and read my summary and figure out what makes me the #1 LinkedIn expert and what does it even mean. So you want to be able to spark that curiosity, but to also show your intent and your value proposition within your LinkedIn headline. And your headline can be found in multiple places. It's obviously on your profile, but when you comment on LinkedIn content, let's say there's content on LinkedIn Pulse, for example, and someone publishes an article on LinkedIn, when you comment somewhere, or if you comment in a group, people can see your name and your headline on LinkedIn. So your headline is really your first foot forward on LinkedIn. It's the thing that's going to draw people in. And if you haven't distinguished your headline, and there's a lot of different ways to do this depending on your industry, but if you haven't distinguished your headline to attract, and again, it comes down to knowing your audience, to attracting your ideal clients and referral partners, you are missing a huge and fairly simple way to distinguish yourself and to attract those potential leads and referrals for you and for your business. Just by optimizing your headline, you're going to be way ahead of your competition and really start to stand out on LinkedIn by having the right LinkedIn headline. And the format that I usually talk about when it comes to LinkedIn headline, again, it's using the right keywords, standing out, and showing your value proposition. If you're able to do all of that on LinkedIn, you can start to build a solid LinkedIn headline. Also, making sure that you separate your LinkedIn headline with brackets. So what I do is I use vertical brackets. You can also use symbols. That makes it easy to understand, easy to sift through, and it also looks much more professional than just having commas inside your LinkedIn headline. That way you can make multiple points inside your headline and still not confuse your audience, because again, it's all about your intended audience. You want to be as clear as possible to them, but definitely take advantage of this huge opportunity and start distinguishing yourself through your LinkedIn headline in a way that's going to catch people's attention and send them towards your LinkedIn profile. Number 4, a lot of us have seen this person before, the over-edgy sales guy. You see a smile right here. There's something, again, that's not right about him. He's just a little bit sketchy, a little bit off, that over-eager guy. And you come off like this guy if you're making this key mistake, which so many people are still making on LinkedIn, and that's pitching on the initial message. So we get this a lot, especially, a lot of my friends and clients in the mortgage business, they've shown me messages from recruiters where they'll get a long-winded 3-paragraph message talking with some elaborate pitch just on LinkedIn. And so many people spend time trying to craft the perfect LinkedIn message, the perfect template for a LinkedIn message. And the fact of the matter is, meeting people on LinkedIn and building relationships is just like meeting people in person, except it's more scalable and it's digital, and you can intentionally meet the people who you're trying to meet. So instead of pitching on the initial message, keep it short, keep it simple, and start the conversation in a strategic way, right? There's no need, no one, I don't care what you do, especially if you're selling high ticket, if you're a realtor, a loan officer, insurance, whatever the case may be, or if you're an internet marketer, if you're in high ticket sales, your chances of converting that initial message into a one message close are slim to none. So when I always laugh when I still see people pitching on that initial message, and it's not about crafting the perfect pitch on the initial message. It's about beginning a conversation and starting a dialogue the right way. Instead of selling up front, it would just be like going to a networking event and having somebody show them give you a business card and say, buy my stuff, and then run off, right? That's the same thing you're doing on LinkedIn if you're still pitching on that initial message. So it's a key thing not to think that these initial messages are going to suddenly start turning into business for you, especially if you haven't optimized your profile, if you're not giving any value up front. There's no reason to expect that initial pitch message, no matter if you have a quote-unquote perfect template. And by the way, when you hear perfect template, there's no such thing. It's someone trying to sell you a template on a message, right? And there's certainly best practices, and I cover a lot of different strategies for messaging and getting the conversation started, but it's literally what the perfect message is the conversation starter on LinkedIn with the right person. And LinkedIn, and I want to cover this too because this is something that I find particularly frustrating, is the in-mail, right? So many, and I think a lot of these international SEO companies have kind of ruined it for everyone. They're relying on the in-mail, which is a premium LinkedIn feature, and we'll talk about premium accounts here in a second. So they're sending this in-mail with a sales pitch, and they're wondering why they're not getting any responses. And definitely don't do that, right? The in-mail, if you are using it, which I don't recommend it, the way to get around in-mail is when you send a connection request, you can customize that request and attach a note and use that note to start that conversation with your prospect or referral partner. Instead of sending them an in-mail, this way you give them an opportunity to go to your profile, which if you've optimized the right way is only going to help, and to start having that conversation with you. Instead of you trying to sell them something on a long, elaborate in-mail or pitching them on an initial message, you'll have a much more genuine connection in an organic conversation that's going to lead to an appointment and to you doing business together instead of this pitch on the initial message. So the initial message, guys, instead of it being long-winded and a few paragraphs, 2, 3 sentences at most. Even, and we're talking about pitching, not pitching, whatever the case may be, starting a conversation on LinkedIn, 2 to 3 sentences at most, initial message. That's the rule of thumb. Trust me, that'll save you from a lot of missed opportunities, and that'll grab people's attention. Now, there's certainly other best practices, but I'll give you that big foundational one, is to keep it short up front, especially now that LinkedIn has that chat box kind of feature. It's a lot more simple than even sending an email. It's a quick, instant message. You can get your point across. And once you've really tailored it towards what your intention is on LinkedIn, which is what I help a lot of clients do, is tailor those messages and make them as optimized as possible, then you're going to start seeing very high response rates, very, very consistent results, and being able to start those conversations and generate appointments and leads for you. So definitely don't pitch on that initial message, right? It's all about building that initial relationship. Next thing, getting a premium account before you're ready. So I'll tell you a story here. I was working with an insurance broker, and he and I were having a conversation. He was a little bit skeptical on LinkedIn, and he told me that his company had actually paid for a premium account so that he could have a premium sales navigator account. And he said, you know what? It probably didn't work because he wasn't getting any business out of it. And this leads me to this huge mistake on LinkedIn. So many people, so many realtors, loan officers, sales professionals, business owners go ahead and pay for a premium account before they're ready to use it. Most of the strategies that I teach and work with clients on are strategies that you can use almost as effortlessly using a free account on LinkedIn. And there's 2 types of premium accounts on LinkedIn, which I want to go over in a second. But it comes down to having the right systems and strategies in place for utilizing LinkedIn. If you don't have the right systems yet, if you're making a lot of these mistakes, even the first 4 mistakes that we talked about today, if your profile isn't optimized, if you don't have the perfect headline, if you're not distributing and creating content like you can be, if you haven't positioned yourself as that authority, these are all things you can do for 100% free across LinkedIn. If you haven't done those things, and especially if you're pitching on that initial message, a premium account is going to make no difference. It's just going to be more money that you're spending on LinkedIn. So when should you get a premium account? Because you can do just about everything I teach for free and still get those continued results for free. There are 2 types of premium accounts on LinkedIn. Number 1 is the old-fashioned LinkedIn Business Premium account. A couple of the key features of that premium account are, number 1, you can see everyone who's viewed your profile. So with the free account, you will see when people view your profile, but you won't be able to see everyone. The premium account will let you see everyone who's viewed your profile. So if someone's viewed your profile, you have an opportunity to go to their profile, reach out to them, and start building that relationship. That's the number 1 key feature. Number 2, you have more search possibilities. You can use more advanced search options. And that's another thing. And beyond that, there's really the LinkedIn Business Premium account. There aren't too many other key features. Another key feature is users will know that you're a premium LinkedIn user, so you have the added prestige factor, right, which is what LinkedIn heavily promotes. However, the Sales Navigator account has all the features of the LinkedIn Business account, but the big advantage of the Sales Navigator account is it allows you to manage prospects more easily, and it allows you to have that CRM, customer relationship component of using LinkedIn within that Sales Navigator account. So being able to use Sales Navigator, what you're able to do on LinkedIn is you're able to list your contacts, you're able to tag your prospects, you're able to get notifications when on your leads activities so you can engage. So it's definitely a huge thing. It's something that I would recommend for someone once they have the right strategies in place. So once you get your 4-step system dialed in, once you have your systems for using LinkedIn, and once you start seeing those initial results, that Sales Navigator will really help you take things to a whole new level. And it's a very seamless to use tool, and it can be very beneficial. But again, just like the client who I was talking about a few minutes ago, he was using Sales Navigator and he was getting 0 results because he wasn't utilizing the right strategy. So that's what it really comes down to. And that Sales Navigator, that premium account, those things are there to help you, and they're very valuable tools. However, if you don't have the right strategies in place, if you're not utilizing LinkedIn like you can be, using the systems and strategies that we're talking about today, if you're still making the same mistakes, there's really no reason to get a premium account before you're ready. However, when you are ready, the Sales Navigator account, especially if you're in sales or if you're in business, will be very helpful to you and really help take things to a whole new notch. However, once again, it's all about getting the right systems and strategies in place and using that to supplement the results you're already getting rather than banking on the premium account to deliver results. Because guys, just having that premium account on its own isn't going to be what delivers you results. It's going to be about having the right systems and processes in place for attracting your ideal clients and for getting new clients, getting more referrals, and making more sales on LinkedIn. Mistake number 6, relying on company pages. So this is a mistake that I hear about all too often. So you see these kids here, they're excited. They saw something for the first time on the computer. I see so many business owners and so many salespeople who I talk to who believe that relying on their LinkedIn company page is going to get them massive success on LinkedIn. I'll tell you a little bit about LinkedIn company pages at this current time. Right now, a LinkedIn company page is similar to, a fan page across Facebook where you can go and you can follow the page on LinkedIn and the page can have its following. And the biggest benefit of the company page right now is actually when it comes to prospecting. So let's say you want to do business with a certain company, you can look up the employees of that company and find out who the decision makers are really quickly. If you're doing B2B prospecting, that's part of the big benefit of company pages. But if you're someone who's in business or in sales who wants to build a company page, they're really simple to build. It doesn't take much time. All you need is a logo, company page, and it's good. And you should definitely have one, especially if you have your own business, because you can link it to your personal profile. But as far as actually making sales from LinkedIn, your personal page is by far the best hub for getting success and actually getting business out of LinkedIn. The company page can serve a purpose. It's definitely a great place to syndicate content where you can share content and distribute content across that company page. You can have more people visiting the company page that way. It's certainly good to have, and it's an important thing to have on LinkedIn. But relying on the company page isn't going to deliver you much business. You're much better off relying on your personal LinkedIn profile as the hub to establish yourself as the authority and building that one-on-one relationship with your ideal prospects and referral partners, because people don't do business with companies, right? They do business with people. So whenever I see someone relying on a company page, really double down on your personal profile and use your company page as another place to distribute content. That's the key thing when it comes down to company pages. Now let's talk about advertising here in a second as well, because LinkedIn is really pushing its advertising in a big way. Actually the other day I saw a Facebook ad that was promoting LinkedIn ads. So LinkedIn really, and these social media companies, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, they make the majority of their money from companies paying to advertise. Now before, in the past, to advertise on LinkedIn used to cost quite a hefty sum. Like LinkedIn would go after these huge companies who were willing to pay tens of thousands a month just to run ads. And before, advertising on LinkedIn often included banner ads and just really old school kind of advertising across the top. Now LinkedIn has figured out a way to optimize its advertising platform where the LinkedIn Ads Manager, which I was just in a few days ago, makes it much easier to place ads on LinkedIn. And similarly to Facebook, you can have your ads appear as sponsored content on LinkedIn, so they appear organically in the LinkedIn newsfeed, which is the place where more and more people are starting to spend their time on LinkedIn. So it's one of those big things. However, at this moment, LinkedIn advertising is still nowhere near as cost effective as Facebook advertising. So LinkedIn requires a minimum budget of $10 a day at the time that we're doing this webinar, of $10 a day. And the biggest benefit of advertising on LinkedIn is you get really solid targeting. So instead of having to worry about missing the ball on your targeting, you can target the exact decision makers who you'd like to reach with LinkedIn advertising. It's just a matter of writing the right ad, having the right offer, and having a call to action, have everything be put inside of there organically, having it all work seamlessly to where the ad will appear in the newsfeed and you'll start getting results. So LinkedIn certainly does offer pay-per-click advertising, which you can take advantage of your company page. But right now, guys, the big opportunity on LinkedIn is through your personal profile, using the strategies that we've been talking about today and getting those organic types of results. That's really the key opportunity that you will find through using LinkedIn, and using that company page is another place to syndicate the content that you're putting out across LinkedIn. Because another big benefit of a LinkedIn company page is that LinkedIn SEO. LinkedIn has really strong search engine optimization. So if you're looking for more SEO for your company and for your website, LinkedIn is a great place to get more of that SEO with as well. And that's why it's another great place to distribute your content across. But overall, what's going to get you results on LinkedIn at this current moment, unless you're willing to spend a hefty amount on advertising, is utilizing your company, not your company, your personal page on LinkedIn, optimizing your profile, distributing content, creating content, utilizing power partners and your current clientele, and strategically prospecting and engaging with prospects. And those are all things that you can do without paying for LinkedIn ads that you should be doing through your personal profile instead of your company page on LinkedIn. Now, in the coming months, I'm sure there's going to be some major changes to LinkedIn advertising as more and more users start spending more and more time on LinkedIn. The ad platform is really going to become even more user-friendly, and there's going to be a tremendous opportunity to build funnels and create ads using LinkedIn. However, that period of time is probably still, at the time that we're doing this webinar, a few months, if not half a year away, where LinkedIn ads are really going to hit their prime. But at this moment, your best bet is going to be using these organic strategies across your personal page to build these relationships and establish yourself as the authority and start generating consistent new business opportunities and making more sales. And LinkedIn mistake number 7, not interacting with content across LinkedIn. So a lot of people ask me what content they should be posting on LinkedIn. A lot of people ask me how often they should be posting on LinkedIn. And the truth is, when you start going to LinkedIn, when you start engaging more actively, the first thing you should be doing is interacting with other people's content, especially if they're your potential clients or referral partners. So if you see something across LinkedIn, it takes a few seconds to read what people have posted and to engage with it, right? And LinkedIn right now is starting to get more and more engagement in the LinkedIn newsfeed, but you really have this opportunity as someone who's ahead of the curve, who's tuning in right now, to start interacting with people's content and to start commenting, start sharing, liking, and getting yourself out there as well, because that's one way to organically start a conversation, is to interact with the content that you come across on LinkedIn. And I'll give you guys a couple tricks here. When it comes down to LinkedIn groups, which are a bit of a different conversation, you'll find that a lot of the people who are posting content there aren't getting much engagement at all. And you have the opportunity to engage with the content that you find across your newsfeed and across LinkedIn groups. You have the opportunity to really engage with that content and start those conversations organically. It's another way to get your foot in the door and start the conversation with the decision makers that you want to reach without you having to directly message them or send that, that cold message, that one message pitch template that so many people are still sending. It's much easier to start interacting with the content that you see across LinkedIn. And you should do that even before you start consistently putting content out there, because just like in the real world, people want to be understood. People want to feel important. People want people to listen to their message and what they have to say and have that sense of validation. And you can do that for your referral partners and for your ideal clients by interacting and engaging with their content on LinkedIn. So instead of passively consuming content, you'll find most content on LinkedIn. One great thing about LinkedIn is that most content on LinkedIn is really geared around business. It's geared around motivation, business, self-improvement, and industry-specific content, versus a place like Facebook. You'll see a lot of cat videos, a lot of negative content. And if you see content on LinkedIn that's not related to business, motivation, or positivity, people will actually be shamed for putting that sort of content on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is really the place to interact with professional content, and being able to go there, ask questions, and interact. And really, you can leave your footprint in so many different ways by interacting with content, especially if you're interacting with people who you want to build relationships with. taking time to interact with their content on LinkedIn. And now one of the new changes on LinkedIn is when you go to someone's profile, you can actually see all of the content that they have recently posted, and you can go and you can engage with the content. You can let them know that you're there, that you're ready to engage and start to build that relationship. I'll give you guys another tip here. When you see an article published within LinkedIn Publisher, which is LinkedIn's content publishing platform, you can go inside the article and you can actually comment below the article. And what you do when you comment below the article, not only does that person get a notification you're engaging with their content, but you'll also be there forever. So that whenever someone reads that article, so think about it, if the article is viral or if that article has gotten a lot of views, anytime someone scrolls to the bottom of that article, they'll see your comment. Not only will they see your comment, they'll see your name, picture, and your LinkedIn headlines. So we talk about the importance of LinkedIn headlines. What you're able to do is drive traffic to your LinkedIn profile. That's why it's so critical to optimize your profile, because you can drive free organic traffic to your profile by engaging with the right content on LinkedIn. And that's such a key thing, because think about your process. You can start with the curiosity where someone's not your ideal prospect or referral partner. They're not aware yet of what it is you do or who you are, to them seeing a comment that you left on an article and being drawn in by your headline, to them going to your profile, to them being called to action and engaging inside your sales process. You have an opportunity to do all of those things simply by interacting with content and using a lot of the strategies that we've talked about here as well. So if you're passively consuming content on LinkedIn, it's time to change that. It's time to actively start engaging with content as you position yourself as an authority, as a decision maker, as an influencer, as someone that people want to build relationships with across LinkedIn. You should definitely start engaging with more content on LinkedIn. Plus, you'll probably learn a thing or two. A lot of the content on LinkedIn is positive, it is business related, and it will be helpful to you in establishing relationships and really reaching a lot of your business goals. So interacting with content is a big thing, and it's, especially when you're first starting out, it's more important to be interacting with content even than consistently putting content out, because then you're leaving a footprint across LinkedIn. You're organically building conversations and relationships that are going to lead to opportunities. So there you have it. Those were the 7 LinkedIn mistakes. I still see 98, 99% of salespeople and business owners making these mistakes. So just by being on this recording today, you've put yourself way ahead. You've given yourself a major opportunity to correct these mistakes and to get ahead of your competition. Because guys, by the time your competition figures this stuff out, you'll already be way ahead. If you apply the right strategies, you'll be way ahead, and you'll have a chance to be getting a lot of business through LinkedIn before your competition even realizes the opportunity that's out here. So the question that I have for you, and the question that you're probably asking, is what's next? And I like comparing it to being at the beginning of a race, right? So now you're sort of at the starting line. You've gotten these 7 mistakes. I've given you a lot of practical, tangible strategies that you can start applying to LinkedIn right away to start making more sales. However, I know it can be a lot of information. It can even feel a little bit overwhelming. And it really comes down to implementing the right systems in place so you can put yourself ahead. You can be the person who, now that you've reached the starting line, because let's face it, your competition is probably clueless to all these mistakes that we've mentioned here in this presentation. Now that you're at the starting line, you really have the opportunity to get ahead of your competition, to get way ahead, and to put the right systems in place to consistently find more clients, get more referrals, and make more sales, all through using LinkedIn, using this powerful professional networking platform, and really using it to grow your sales and to grow your business. And this is the opportunity that's out there. And let's talk a little bit more about how you can apply the right systems, how you can make sure that you have the right processes in place to consistently grow through using LinkedIn while saving time and making more money. So I have this program, the 8-week, I call it a mastermind experience. It's really a group coaching experience. It's called Linked Legends. And it's really a program that I've taken a lot of time to create each and every detail of, to make sure that you can get proven and consistent results through using LinkedIn, and most importantly, develop consistent systems for yourself across LinkedIn where you'll be able to plug in and start seeing consistent results month after month that are turning into new business for you and more closed deals, more opportunities, and more revenue, as well as an increase in profits and really less time spent on ineffective prospecting. It's an 8-week group coaching experience. We're going to have a weekly live training session each and every week where I'll do a virtual session. I'll be there to answer your questions as you're going through the program, as you're learning, as you're getting results. I'll also be teaching advanced strategies and everything you need to know about utilizing LinkedIn to get new business. Also, we'll have hot seats where, as a member inside this experience, you'll have an opportunity to showcase what you have going on LinkedIn, the systems that you're using, and you'll be able to get feedback and you'll be able to see ways to improve what you're doing across LinkedIn. And you'll get that individualized attention from other members as well as myself through the member hot seats. This program will also include a full library of customizable templates, scripts, and worksheets so you can know exactly what to say, so you can know exactly how to optimize your profile and establish yourself as that proven authority across LinkedIn, and so that you can establish systems for yourself to start consistently getting new business through using LinkedIn. So you'll have access to that full library of templates, scripts, and worksheets. And much more, much more. The full experience of really being able to use LinkedIn as a vehicle for consistently getting new business, getting referral business, and growing your pipeline on a day-to-day basis just through spending a little bit of time on LinkedIn and putting the right strategies in place. And of course, there's going to be bonuses for you just because you are here right now on this recording. You've given this the time of day. You realize the importance of utilizing LinkedIn to grow your business and to make more sales. Number one bonus, lifetime access to Link Lead Machines, my fully recorded online training program with over 7 hours of actionable content you can start applying to LinkedIn right away, that I've recorded and really tailored towards people who are serious about getting results, so that you can start getting results for your business and have recorded programs in case you feel lost, in case you're ever stuck, or you just want other strategies, other tools, other potential things to use. You'll have lifetime access to this recorded program. And as LinkedIn changes, as the interface evolves, as there's other strategies that I discover, you'll have lifetime access to all these recorded videos, and you'll have access to that entire library for life, just as a bonus for being a part of the Link Legends program. Bonus number 2, advertising secrets webinar. So when you are ready to start advertising, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, traditional advertising, radio, whatever the case may be, I put together a special webinar where I'm going to show you exactly how you can craft the perfect offer to attract your ideal clients so that you can get the best bang for your buck and generate the most leads and the best kind of brand exposure through advertising. So you'll be able to watch the webinar, apply the strategies, learn exactly how to tell what your offer should be, where you should advertise, and how to bring in the right type of traffic that you can eventually monetize and really start seeing a huge return on investment through your advertising and through the message that you're delivering through your ads. So I've put together this exclusive webinar. It's called Advertising Secrets, and I'll include that as a bonus once you become a part of Link Legends. Bonus number 3, Meetup Mania. There's a website out there that a lot of people are just discovering. It's called meetup.com. And right now, there are almost 10 million users across meetup.com. And I've been experimenting with Meetup lately over the last few months, and I found that it's a great place to generate leads, whether you're a realtor, a loan officer, whether you're a business owner. You can really target the exact types of people, even if you're B2B, if you're B2C, no matter what the case is, you can target the exact types of people you're trying to reach. And meetup.com for free, it will promote your meetup. It'll get the word out there. It'll go directly to people's inboxes for free, where you'll have the opportunity as the meetup organizer to directly inbox and reach people across Meetup as the organizer through emails. And you'll also have an opportunity to find qualified leads on Meetup and directly message them just for being a free meetup.com user. So I cover it all inside Meetup Mania, which is a video where I distill this proven techniques, the secrets to utilizing Meetup and using meetup.com to grow your business and generate more leads. Bonus number 4, a private Facebook group exclusively for Linked Legends members where you can post your questions. I'll be there to answer your questions so you can make sure that you're getting the right results, that you're getting way ahead in the process, and that you're able to interact with people who are also within the program and who are looking to get the same results as you. So not only will you be able to get these results through LinkedIn, you'll also be able to network and build relationships and see some of the best practices and see what the best strategies are for utilizing LinkedIn by being part of this community and being part of this private Facebook group. And again, access to that group is going to be limited only to Linked Legends users so that you can be a part of a community and really skyrocket your results and be more efficient with everything you do. But not only that, let's be honest, being a part of Linked Legends or taking any sort of program, the real name of the game comes down to implementation. You'll have that full accountability and that full implementation by being a part of that Facebook group so that you can implement, take action, and get results as quickly as possible. And bonus number 5, and I'm offering this for a limited time, is a one-on-one call with me where you and I will get on the phone or we'll get on a Google Hangout. We'll see everything that you have going on LinkedIn, and we'll come up with customized strategies to start getting you results as rapidly as possible. You'll also have an opportunity to ask me any questions you'd like about LinkedIn, and we'll really get your strategy dialed in so that you can start getting results in no time, so that you know exactly what to do, so that you will be able to speak with an expert, someone who's obsessed with LinkedIn, someone who's done most of these strategies and worked with people from a variety of industries. You'll be able to get my exclusive insights, and we'll be able to really catapult your results to a new level and make sure that you're getting the most out of the program and that you are getting consistent results week after week, month after month, and making money through using LinkedIn. So here's what you get, just to sum it up. Linked Legends membership, the mastermind experience, right? I use the word mastermind, really the group consulting coaching experience valued at $3,000. The lifetime access to linked lead machines, which is my digital recorded program, which in the future will actually become a subscription program, and it'll be priced with the annual value of $3,400. The advertising secrets webinar, Meetup Mania, the virtual training that I was talking about, showing you how to get leads through meetup.com, the private Facebook group where you'll be able to ensure accountability implementation, and a one-on-one consulting call where you and I will get together on Google Hangouts or Zoom, and we'll talk about your LinkedIn profile, and we'll find out exactly what you need to do to start getting rapid results across LinkedIn time and time again. So total $8,150 worth of value is what you'll be getting by becoming a part of this Linked Legends program. Now, the regular price for the program, the market price, is $14.97. For being on this recording today, for sticking around till the end, for being an action taker who wants to get ahead of your competition and who realizes the importance and the power of LinkedIn, you'll be able to get it for $9.97 just by going to linkleads.us/legends. You'll be able to take advantage and get $8,000 worth of value for $9.97 if you take action, if you're serious about getting results through using LinkedIn. If you're still not sure, here's a couple of clients who I've worked with. You're probably similar to Desiree. She's a business owner here in Vegas, and she was curious about using LinkedIn to generate more leads. She really had no idea where to start. She's very business savvy, but she just did not understand LinkedIn. And using the linked lead system that you'll be learning in this program, she was able to consistently make more sales and generate several new business opportunities and relationships. And it's really helped her business go to the next level just through using LinkedIn and implementing a lot of these strategies that you'll be learning as a part of this program. And then there's Simon. He is a CEO of a software company, and he and I work closely together to where his company was able to grow its sales pipeline by 60% and gain major traction across the world in global markets. And that's another great benefit of LinkedIn. You won't be limiting yourself to your local market. You can literally target anyone across the world through using LinkedIn and build relationships with anyone across the world. So his company experienced skyrocket in its sales pipeline and gained major traction just through implementing a few of these strategies in the link lead system. These were the kind of results some of these clients have been able to experience. And again, here's the link. You can go to linkleads.us/legends. You can take advantage of this program and start getting results through LinkedIn so you can start finding more clients, getting more referrals, and making more sales on a consistent basis through using LinkedIn. I want to take a few minutes to answer a couple questions that we have here in the box about LinkedIn. So question number one, how much time does all this take? That's a really good question. It's how much time should you be spending on LinkedIn if you want to actually get results? And it's not as time intensive as most people probably think. So the key thing with using LinkedIn is upfront, it's going to be a little bit more time intensive as you're optimizing your profile and figuring out the strategies. But once you get the strategies dialed in, whether you're a realtor, a loan officer, business owner, B2B sales, you can spend less than an hour a day. I usually recommend about half hour a day, half hour to 45 minutes, 5 days a week, and you'll consistently be pulling in referrals and inbound leads and new business opportunities through LinkedIn just by spending 30 to 45 minutes a day on LinkedIn. And if you're someone who has an assistant or has a marketing person who works under you, it's a great thing to delegate to them as well, because once you have the strategic direction down, as far as implementation goes, they can spend half an hour a day and it'll consistently be getting you new business. So it'll be well worth the time. And once you do a lot of the legwork up front, you'll be able to really start seeing those results on a consistent basis. As far as the Link Legends program, the time commitment really isn't that intensive either. It's a time commitment where all you'll have to do is you can show up to the live trainings. You'll have all the content recorded. So if you have something come up, if you have an appointment or an emergency, you'll have full access to the recordings in the Facebook group, which you can access anytime you want and really implement it on your time and be able to ask questions on mine. So if you have specific questions, you'll be able to ask directly on the live trainings and also within the Facebook group as well. That way it gives you that ultimate time flexibility. So hopefully that answers that question for you. Next question. Which industries is this for? And that's a great question too. So I believe, we have a lot of people from a lot of different industries on this recording right now, on this training. And, this is really something that I tell a lot of clients, a lot of people I meet. You can have advantage on LinkedIn if you're someone who's looking to make more sales. If you're someone who would benefit from any type of networking, this is for you, because using LinkedIn almost across any industry, you'll be able to get new clients, a flurry of leads, more referrals, and you'll be able to make more sales. So if you're someone who's interested in building relationships with people who are key influencers, C-level executives, and decision makers, and utilizing LinkedIn, if you're interested in becoming an authority and really branding yourself and positioning yourself in key ways to build these relationships and actually get and develop new business, this program is for you. Whether you're a realtor, loan officer, financial planner, insurance agent, business owner, B2B salesperson, whether you're in e-commerce, network marketing, it doesn't matter. These strategies, these systems can apply to your business. They'll help you grow your business. They'll help you find clients, get referrals, make more sales through using LinkedIn. And I can guarantee you this, almost any industry you're in, you will be way, way ahead of your competition just through using these strategies. So this is really for anybody who's in charge of developing new business, who's in charge of building business relationships, or who's in charge of making any sort of sales or transactions. A couple more questions here. Let's see what we have. How soon can you expect to get results? Okay, so great question. The Link Legends program, quite honestly, you could expect to get results almost immediately. If you start applying the strategies, it's not uncommon for someone to tell me that they've optimized their profile and they've had someone reach out and they've developed a new relationship. However, over the course of the 8 weeks of the program, you should really start seeing major traction in terms of more engagement, more receptive outreach, people reaching out to you, and just taking your LinkedIn presence from where it is. Because most people, and if you're on this webinar, you probably don't get much business out of LinkedIn. So we're going to take you from getting no business from LinkedIn to new opportunities, to new appointments, to more engagement, and you should start seeing results almost immediately. And over the course of the 8 weeks, by the time the program is over, and even with the recorded programs, you'll have enough information, you'll have the right systems in place, it'll consistently get you results month after month, year after year. And that's really the key thing here as well. It's not only can you expect to see short-term results, but long-term results, you will see results on a consistent basis. And once you have your systems dialed in, it's just about maintenance, maintaining, and getting consistent results and making more sales. So how soon can you expect results? Sometimes they come almost immediately. Sometimes it takes a little while, but within the first 60 to 90 days, you should absolutely start seeing, you should see a huge, significant difference, especially if you don't have much, if you haven't had much success through LinkedIn, the 60 to 90 day mark, you will see a major difference and probably a lot sooner. And let's see if we have a couple more questions here. Is this something that can be delegated to an assistant? Absolutely, it definitely is. Just keep in mind that you have to provide the strategic direction, right? And that's what I provide for my clients. I have a lot of clients who they just have assistants implement these things, but it's all about having the right strategy and making sure they do the right thing. And I actually do recommend delegating it once you have the right strategies, because the most important thing that you're going to be doing is having these conversations and mending these relationships that are going to lead to more sales and referrals for you. So absolutely delegate it. But up front, it's going to be about you understanding the strategy so that you can delegate it. And that's where a program like this comes in. And let's see if we have any other questions here at all. Okay, here's a question. What can I, a boring old loan officer, do to get success on LinkedIn to set myself apart? All right, so to answer that question, being a loan officer, being a realtor, you have a very saturated field, but a lot of the times your competition, like we mentioned earlier, is completely clueless when it comes to using LinkedIn. So you have an opportunity to set yourself apart through the 4-step system, optimizing your profile in a way where you distinguish yourself from 99.9% of the competition, especially locally. And also your outreach is going to be different than any other loan officer using a lot of these systems, the way you engage with content, your presence on LinkedIn. You're really going to put yourself as the guy or gal, the authority on LinkedIn who draws business, who generates inbound leads, and who consistently attracts referral partners and ideal clients through using LinkedIn. So just because you're a loan officer, realtor, even if you're in solar, right? Even if you're selling solar, you have a tremendous opportunity to distinguish yourself on LinkedIn and start creating consistent streams of leads and referrals for you and for your business. And final question. I'm in B2C. I've been told that LinkedIn is for B2B professionals. Does this really work for B2C? Again, absolutely. B2C, it works even better, especially if you're someone who would benefit from getting referrals. You really have a lot of untapped potential in B2C. It obviously works in the B2B space as well, but with B2C, you might even see a quicker turnaround by developing those referral streams, and you're going to be way ahead of your competition in B2C. So it absolutely works in B2C. And I personally love working with B2C clients because they're always surprised at how effectively these strategies work. And they've been told for the longest time that they've been reserved for B2B. That's not the case at all. It works for B2C, B2B. It's just about implementing that 4-step system, customizing strategies for who you're trying to reach, building those relationships, and making more sales, getting more referrals, and growing your business. And I believe those are all the questions. All right. Well, I really appreciate you tuning into this webinar. Hopefully this helps. I'm sure it's given you a lot to think about, a lot of strategies that you can utilize on LinkedIn. Again, there's never been an opportunity like today to start taking advantage of LinkedIn. If you're serious about getting results, if you're serious about taking action, it's one thing to go through a webinar like this. It's a whole nother thing to receive live training, recorded programs where we go in depth on everything you need to start utilizing LinkedIn. So if you're ready to take action, if you're ready to start finding more clients, getting new referrals, and making more sales through using LinkedIn, go to linkleads.us/legends and learn more about the program. We'll get you the results that you need. We'll get you where you need to go, and you'll have a huge edge on your competition because you're going to be that person who's consistently generating new business through using LinkedIn.